Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you are well. I am also well. I am Izarul Islam, senior teacher of Adamjee Cantonment Public School. Dear students, before starting our today's class, I want to give a picture. In this picture, we can see this is a picture of universe, and this is a picture of an artificial satellite. So through this picture you can see, you can guess what will be our today's chapter. Yes, dear students, our today's chapter is chapter 12, the outer space and satellites. Here our topics will be the outer space, the universe, natural planet and satellite, artificial satellites and history of their development, the movement of an artificial satellite, and finally we will discuss the importance and uses of artificial satellites. Now, learning outcome. After finishing our today's class, students, all of you will know about the outer space. You will know about the universe. Students will know about natural planet and satellite, and moreover you will know about artificial satellites, and finally you will be able to explain the importance and uses of artificial satellites. Okay, let's go to start our today's class. Okay, here you can see our first topic, the outer space. We see the sun as the brightest object in the sky at daytime. You should not, however, look at the sun directly because it can cause great harm to our eyes. When you look up at the sky at a clear night, what do you see? The dark night sky is dotted with twinkling points of light, which we call stars. These may as well be in the sky as a thin arc or as a full circle of light. The brightest planet is Venus and the reddish planet is Mars. Except for the outer planets, all other points of light are stars in the sky. Sometimes you can see a faint glowing band across the over sky when it is clear and dark enough. It is made up of stars too, far away to be seen as separate points of light. This band is known as Milky Way. Okay, when you were class 5, during that time you known Milky Way. What is Milky Way first time? Okay, if we look through the telescope, we see many more objects in the sky. The planet Jupiter shines in the sky with its satellite. Outer space is the first extension of space in which all objects of the sky, including the planets, stars, and galaxies, have their existence. The outer space is mostly empty, in which the material objects in different forms are moving in their respective paths. From the outer space, our Earth looks bright like other planets due to the sunlight reflected from their surface. Okay, here, where does the outer space begin? Space is all around Earth and extends beyond the air which surrounds the Earth. The atmosphere of the Earth rotates along with it. This is why the atmosphere is taken as a part of the Earth and not as a part of outer space. Thus, the outer space begins where atmosphere ends. You know, our Earth surface is surrounded with atmosphere or air. The greater portion of the atmosphere exists near the Earth. The air surrounding the Earth gets thinner as you go upwards until there is none at all. When we go above 160 kilometer, approximately 160 kilometer above the ground, the space becomes almost empty. Although space itself is almost empty, there are many exciting things out there, such as planets, stars, and galaxies. How far the outer space is extended. In physical science, we believe in the observable world. Space has no meaning unless there are events on the existence of matter in it. Thus, the extension of space in physical sense is the furthest point in space where from information can reach us. The most distant galaxy from which light can reach us determines that size of the universe as also the limit of space. Now, dear students, the universe, how the universe is defined. In which way we may define universe? It is said here, you can see, the universe is composed of all existing matters and space as a whole. The Earth, the planets, stars, far and near, comets, galaxy, small insects, dust, visible and invisible things all comprise the universe. Nobody knows how big is the universe. The shape and size of the universe is unknown to all until now. Many scientists think that there is no beginning and ending of the universe. Again, some people believe that the universe has size and shape. Humans are discovering new information about the universe now and then, but much of it is still beyond knowing. However, this unknowing will continue forever. Although many things are not known to us, the scientists think that a lot of elements of the universe are scattered here and there in the outer space. The existence of matters in some parts of the universe is higher than another part. The matters concentrated on a large volume in some parts of the universe is called galaxy or star world. Galaxy is a large group of planets and stars. Our Earth existing in the galaxy of Milky Way. There are crores of galaxies in the universe where exist crores of stars. Now, the galaxies move in groups in the outer space as the bees fly in the biosphere in groups we see. The stars of the galaxies seem very near in comparison to the unlimited outer space, but it is not true. They are so far from one another. Let us think about the distance among them. We know that light runs about 0.3 million kilometer way per second. The distance between the Earth and Sun is about 150 million kilometer. The sunlight takes approximately 8 minutes 20 seconds to reach to the Earth. On the other hand, the sunlight takes more than 4 years to reach Alpha Centauri. What is Alpha Centauri? It is said Alpha Centauri, the nearest star from the Sun. Light takes a few million of years to reach from a furthest star to another furthest star. Now you can realize or you can guess what is the distance from one star to another star and how mammoth the universe is. Okay. Now, the universe, how the universe is created from the available evidence on the edge of the universe. Astronomers think that the universe started with a massive explosion. This is called Big Bang theory. It happened about 15 billion years ago. A huge explosion sent everything racing outwards in all directions. Before the Big Bang theory or Big Bang, everything was packed incredibly close together to a point of high temperature and density. Over time, it has expanded into the universe we see today. When scientists look at distant galaxies, they see that other galaxies are moving away from our galaxy. More distant galaxies are moving away faster. In fact, all the galaxies are moving away from each other. We say the universe is expanding. Now, our next topic, natural planet and satellite. You can see here the picture of our solar system. Here the sun, and around the sun 8 planets are moving here. The galaxy to which we belong, is the Milky Way. In this Milky Way, the sun is located along with 8 family members. They together form the solar system, where 8 planets are revolving around the sun. The objects which revolve around the sun are called planets. And these planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Some of the planets have more than one satellite. The objects which revolve around the planets are called satellites. So we got here a definition of satellite. Okay. For example, the moon is revolving around the Earth and Earth's satellite. So the Earth is a planet of the sun, and the moon is a satellite or natural satellite of the Earth. Okay. Do the activity below, and you will understand the motion of planet and satellite. Here you can see a figure. Suppose this is sun. This is sun. This is orbit of Earth. This is Earth, and this is moon. The moon. This is moon's orbit. Okay. Now, natural planet and satellite. Where did planets and satellite come from? Scientists think that the sun, the planets, and their satellites are formed from a huge cloud of gas and dust around 4,500 million years ago. A star near the cloud exploded, making the cloud spin. As the cloud spun around and stuck together to form lumps, in time the stars crashed into each other, and that formed satellites. The cloud in the same way gathered into lump around the planets to form their satellites. The planets and satellites don't radiate light or heat because they are not big enough to start nuclear reaction as happened in stars. In sun and in all stars, nuclear fusion reaction occurs. Sunlight is reflected falling on them. The Earth has 1 satellite, Mars has 2 satellites, Jupiter has 67 satellites, Saturn has 62 satellites, Uranus has 27 satellites, and Neptune has 14 satellites. They revolve around the planets due to the influence of the force of gravity of their respective planets. Okay. Now, artificial satellites and history of their developments. A smaller body orbiting a large one, usually a planet, is called a satellite. An artificial satellite is a space vehicle or shuttle designed to orbit a large body, usually the Earth. The Moon is a natural satellite of our Earth. An artificial satellite is much smaller than the Moon and moves in a much smaller orbit. For every orbit, there must be a definite outward centrifugal acceleration of the satellite to balance the inward attraction due to gravity. For this velocity of a satellite is smaller when its distance from the Earth is larger. It then takes more time to complete one revolution round the Earth. We know that the Earth revolves on its axis once in 24 hours. If an artificial satellite revolves around the Earth in 24 hours, it will appears to be at rest with respect to the Earth. I want to clear you centrifugal force and centripetal force. When an object moves around with any object, suppose moving of Moon, moving of Earth, or moving of electron around center or nucleus, then it feels two types of attraction. One of them is centrifugal, that force attracted outward, and centripetal force that is attracted inward. Now, artificial satellite and history of their development. The history of artificial satellite is not very old. The first journey into the outer space was initiated by the Soviet Union, that means Russia, present Russia, on 4th October 1957, when they sent the artificial satellite Sputnik 1. Okay, the meaning of the word Sputnik is traveling mate. In the same year, they sent Sputnik 2 on the 2nd December. The first American artificial satellite was Explorer 1, which was launched on 2nd February 1958. Vostok 1 was the first named manned space mission by Soviet Union, which carried the first person in space, Yuri Gagarin, on 12th April 1961. Valentina Tereskova of USSR, that means Russia, is the first woman who went to space on 16th June 1963 in Vostok 6. Intelsat 1 was launched as communication satellite for the commercial use. For remote sensing, the satellite CanSat 1 was launched in 1972. A satellite named Apollo-Soyuz test project was sent first on a mission in 1975 for international communication. Over 5,000 satellites, that means artificial satellites, have been launched to transmit telephone, radio, and television signals around the world. Fewer than half are still orbiting, and many have stopped working and are orbiting as space junk. Okay, now the movement of an artificial satellite. For the orbit motion of a satellite around the Earth, there must be a centripetal force working inward. Before some time, I explained what is centripetal force and what is centrifugal force. Attraction force, which is inward or attraction into the center. That is called centripetal force, and another one is centrifugal force. This force comes from the Earth's gravitational attraction. The calculation shows that to launch a satellite into an orbit around the Earth, a speed of about 8 km per second is needed when the satellite is lifted above 250 kilometers parallel to the Earth, but it is not an easy matter to apply so much velocity to an object at this height. Okay, because the intense friction with the atmosphere will create as much temperature that the object will be burnt and turned into ashes. This speed is achieved by using a multi-stage launching system. As the first stage motor uses up its fuel, it drops off, and so the second stage rockets does not carry its weight. The speed is increased stage by stage because at lower atmosphere the air friction is larger for the higher density of air. This can create enormous heat and burn the rocket. Then the satellite begins to revolve around the Earth. Okay, to understand how an artificial satellite orbits the Earth, you can do the following experiment. Here you can see a boy is in a blank space, and a tennis ball with a rope is moving around the boy. Here the tennis ball comparable with moon and or satellite, and the boy represents the Earth or planet. Okay, here the importance and uses of artificial satellites. There are different types of artificial satellites, suppose communication satellites, then weather satellites, Earth observation satellites, military satellite, navigation satellite, astronomical satellite, and so on. So you will read all of this in your NCTB text. Okay, now I want to give you an evaluation question, and that is what is artificial satellite? An artificial satellite is a space vehicle designed to orbit a large body, usually the Earth. Okay, now this is your homework. Here you can see a creative question for you. So write down the answer of this question in your home. Okay, today is no more. Thanks all. Be well and be happy. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum.